going on, guys? We're out here cutting hay. I opened the field up last night in anticipation of going today. It's supposed to be a 90% chance of rain today. We've got a couple of tiny spits, but it hasn't amounted to much, and so I figured I'd just come cut it down and see what we can do. And I think I made the right decision. Even if it rained now, unless it was torrential downpour, it wouldn't do much. But yeah, 1 second, I gotta navigate around this riser and I'll get back. Anyways, hay's looking pretty good. We've got a few weeds in it, but for being 5-year-old stand of hay and being first crop, there's always a few weeds in it. Today's also a special day for me, as I've got my trusty co-pilot, my little son, here with me. He's my first boy, and it's kind of a dream come true. I've always wanted to, one, have a boy, and two, be able to share what I love doing with him. But yeah, hopefully we'll get a couple videos outside the cab, and hope you guys enjoy watching some video here of cutting hay. Well, here we are. Got it knocked down. First crop cutting is in the books. The old 8850 handled it well again. Only one small little mishap. Let it cool down here for a minute. Move it over here out of the way. But anyways, yeah, for being 5th year in, it actually looked fairly good, except for the last 10 acres. The 10 acres that I put in the year before, it got weeds in it pretty bad. But I actually overseeded that with some grass. You may have remembered from a few videos ago. So hopefully that grass takes hold and will help it. But yeah, the rest of the 60 acres looked really, really good. So we'll see how we do tonnage wise when we bale, but overall I'm pretty happy. This old Swather, she does well. I'm pretty happy with it. It's a good old machine. I think I've said in videos past, but I grew up with a machine just like this. The cab and everything's the exact same, but it was an 8400 Hesston with a sickle bar. So out of 4-cylinder Cummins 4BT rather than the 6-cylinder. This machine's a lot nicer, cuts a lot faster, but the feeling is the exact same. The controls are the same, everything feels the exact same. So I've really enjoyed it. It'd be nice to upgrade to one of these newer ones, but for a small time guy like me, this will have to suffice. Anyways, hope you guys enjoy the video. Not sure if I'm going to end it here or not, but we shall see. Today we're doing a little bit of Swather prep for the upcoming 2024 season. We're about 2 weeks away from cutting, so just wrapping up the work here, getting the old 8850 HP, which is the same as a Hesston 8500, the first generation of self-propelled disc binds from Hesston. This one has right around 3,500 hours, I think a little shy of that. Yeah, it's been a pretty good machine for me. But as you guys know, all my equipment is pretty old, with the exception of my loader tractor. The newest one's a 1995, I believe. And besides that, they're all older than me. So I was born in 88, for those that are curious. But anyways, just wanted to run you through what we're doing here today, and hope you enjoy the video. So the first thing I do in the season is I either put on brand new knives or I flip the knives, because they're two-sided. You can see it here. There's a side here and a side here. And so how these knives work, so these top pieces, for those who don't know, they're called turtles, and they all spin either counterclockwise or clockwise. So I can't remember which is which, but it's like clockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise. And that's kind of how they work, and they're timed so these will miss each other as they go on the pathway through. And it's pretty precise. I actually last year had a couple clip each other and I had to make some adjustments, but anyways, so you can flip these turtles as well. Well, you don't flip them. So last year, see how it's worn right here? So this was the leading edge of the turtle. Now this side's the leading edge. This is the leading edge of the knife. So you can, what you can do is you can swap your turtles from this one to this one, from a clockwise to a counterclockwise, and it changes the leading edge so they wear evenly. So obviously when this side wears through, I'll replace it, but for now we can keep it. So I put all new knives in last year, so this year I just flipped them. So to change the knives, what you do is right under here, I just take a pry bar, I put it under there, and I put some upward pressure. Then I zip off that bolt. So there's a bolt, the bolt, and then this washer piece. And yeah, then it goes down through on the knives, and then you just flip them over. Easy as that. Turtle, if you need to change that, it's just those 4 bolts, pull it off. I like to clean everything off good. So that's how it works to change knives on a Hesston disc vine. I'd imagine they're all, even the newer ones, are similar. Okay, so the next thing we do is the cutter bed oil. This is really important. I do it every year. And you can see the drain pan underneath there, and you can also, if you look, there's these blocks. So that's about 8 inches worth of blocks. You put in the safety stop on the left-hand side of the tray of the header. And when I say left-hand side, I'm meaning if you're sitting in the cab looking down at it, it's the left-hand side. So the left-hand side, you leave in the safety stop, which if you see it, it's right over here, right there. You leave that one in, you take that one out, you see it right there. And then you set the header down so you can see the header's raised on one side and lower on the other. The drain plug is right here between 1 and 2. It's right there. It's just a Allen wrench to get that out. And then what I do is I just let it drain overnight. You see the old oil right there. There should be about 2.5 quarts come out. The fill is over here. You can see it's actually filling right now. And that's between turtle 3 and 4. And a little tech tip for you, what I like to do, this is pretty thick oil, so it takes a while to drain. Instead of just sitting here waiting for it, it's probably done. No, not quite. But you can just set it in your funnel, and as long as you have it cockeyed a little bit so it can get air, you can see it glucking there. It'll just fill itself over time and you can go do something else. But yeah, like I say, you just have to make it so it is getting a little bit of air. But yeah, so that's 1 quart right there, and it takes 2.5 quarts to fill the cutter bed. So yeah, pretty easy. Just let it drain overnight. This is also an Allen head. That's just like the drain bolt on the bottom, exactly the same. Take it out, add 2.5 quarts, good to go. All right, the next item of business we do is the gearboxes. There's 4 of them. There's 2 on this side of the header. There's 2 over there on the other side in the same spot. And they're very similar. You can see these 2 have these fill ports where you have a sight glass. You're supposed to be able to see where the oil is. I have a hard time being able to tell. I think the sight glass, you can kind of tell where it's at in there. Yeah, that one you can kind of see. This one not so much, but anyways, these are a little bit more time consuming, a little more tricky. So here's the fill port on the top, and on the bottom you can see on this one the drain is right here. On this one the drain is, you can't really see it, but it's over on the right hand side up in there. So, and then there's a couple breathers. This one has the breather up here, this one has a breather right there, and you can crack those open to help it drain. I just let it drain right down on the header. I don't care. I think a little bit of oil on the header isn't a bad thing. But anyways, you drain it out. And another pro tip on this one, again, the oil's kind of thick. It takes forever to fill through this. So what I do is I just unscrew this whole sight glass and I fill it all the way to the top, and then I put it back on, and then I finish filling it, because you can put about 12 to 16 ounces in before you hit right here. They say it takes 3/4 of a quart, which is, what is that, 24 ounces. I've only been able to get 16 into these, which I did this yesterday, so I let it sit overnight, so I'm going to try to add a little bit more today. But yeah, pretty simple. Pull the drain plug, pull out the fill port so it has some vent, or the top vents if you need it, let it drain, then fill with 3/4 of a quart, which is 24 ounces. And that's the gearboxes. Of course, there's a bunch of grease points on these. I won't go through all of them. I'll tell you roughly where they're all at real quick. On each side of the header, there's one here, here, and up in here. There's one here, here, and up here. So there's 6 there, there's 6 there. Moving around, we got here, 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 here. So how many is that? Another 6 there. And the other side, it's a little different but similar. And so that's the header. That's the most important part. Usually I'd like to do those every about 5-6 hours, and then the rest of the machine I just grease it once per cutting on the tractor itself. I won't go through all the ones on there. All right, and for the rest of the maintenance on here, I did an oil change last year, and I have put only about 50 hours on it last year, so I'm not going to change that. Coolant levels right here. Sometimes I like to get up and I'll check the actual cap as well, which is up by the fuel, which this is the fuel tank. So up here is where you'll find the filler. The dipstick's right there, the fill port's right there. Of course, this is a 6-cylinder Cummins, 12 valve, same that's in the early Dodge trucks. And right there, this is important on this machine. This is the hydraulic tank. You can see there's a full and empty, so you want to fill up that top one. And this machine has quite a few little hydraulic leaks, being as old as it is. So that's a really important one to me. I usually have to recharge the air conditioning. I blow out the radiator, which is right here. You take out that little pin, and this whole thing slides out, and I'll blow that out. Up here, you can see up there behind the cab, under the cab, that's the cabin air filter. I blow that out, and that's pretty much it, guys. That's pretty much what I do to get this machine ready to go. When you're farming with older machines like myself, maintenance is key. I'm a terrible mechanic, absolutely awful. I don't really like it either. There's one thing my uncles taught me, it's how to maintain machinery. We didn't have the nicest machinery, but we kept up really nice on them. We maintained them well, and they always served us well. So that's the lesson of the day. Thank you for watching. Hope you take the time to like and subscribe to this video, and if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And until next time, keep on farming.